Good morning, everybody. Stone Cold is an analog horror series about a strange virus that spreads through eye contact and quickly results in, well, it's pretty horrifying. Make sure to go check it out at the link in the description. We watched it on stream recently, so I hope you enjoy my reaction. So we are watching an analog horror series called Stone Cold, or analog horror and found footage series, right? And here's the link for it. The link is in the description, but here it is as well. Yeah, it's an interesting series. I poked into it a little bit. I try to go in as blind as possible, so I watched a little bit of it, and I'm like, this looks pretty cool. And so we're going to check it out. And this is a full series compiled video as well. Ah, the good time. Thank you. The hell? Interrupt our programming.
We interrupt our programming at the request of the White House. This is the emergency alert system. All normal programming has been discontinued during this emergency. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. Please stand by. Please stand by.
The White House, Washington.
This is a national emergency. During the past night, we have received multiple sightings and reports of so-called demonized. We have been fighting hard to eliminate the virus through sanitation and quarantine of the infected. With severe losses among our ranks, we have resorted to cleansing the contaminated of our country. Please pay attention to this message during the next few minutes at all costs.
Okay, so we...
But what exactly is this issue to us citizens? For now, we, and all official announcements that should follow, will refer to the viral infection as the Medusa virus.
Medusa virus?
The Medusa virus is spread through direct, sustained eye contact with the infected person. As of the current moment, we have not been able to conduct any tests relating to the pathogen or virus. What should you do to help out? Telephone lines should only be used for absolute emergency. This does not include communication before certain death. Lock all doors if possible, and blind all windows.
Gemma
Do
face?
not attempt to go out.
Good to see Gemma face, sorry.
Lock all doors if possible.
Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Yay! Let's go! Bros, we got it! Well, they should play Homestuck games in a punishment stream. I have another game by Andrew Hussey that I want to play. Maybe we'll put that on there. It's probably really bad. I don't know if it is, though.
And blind all windows. Do not attempt to go outside, and do not attempt to help the infected. When in close vicinity of an infected individual, keep your head down and do not attempt to look at their eyes. Avoid human...
Need a bingo. Oh, yes, that's a great idea. Next stream, what we'll do is we'll make a analog horror bingo sheet. I'm literally writing that down. That's gonna be sick. We're doing that. We're designing a bingo sheet.
Interaction at all costs. Do not attempt to blind yourself.
Yeah, Psychologials. That's the one. Okay, so blinding yourself doesn't work. Symptoms of Medusa virus vary depending on the stage of infection, which lasts around 2 minutes, except for the final stage, which has no set culmination. Okay. Contamination through eye contact. Eye and eyes area will start to swell and pupils will expand abnormally large. The infected may experience heavy sweating, nausea, pain in the upper facial region. This is a normal day, isn't it? Currently, tests have concluded that the virus can be eliminated at this stage through surgical removal of the eyeballs. Okay. Okay, so if you get it soon enough, you can stop the virus. This is an interesting way for a virus to spread. I'm liking it a lot more than regular viruses so far. Muscle loss. In this stage, infected will be permanently blinded in one, if not both, eyes. Severe nausea, vertigo, and fading may happen occasionally. Subjects in this stage will experience extreme pain and near paralysis. So, if it reaches stage 2, you go blind anyway. So the virus gets into the eyes, and you basically have to remove the eyes. Okay, so that's why blinding doesn't work, because if you just blind it, the eye is still there. You need to actually remove the eyes. Do you think you'd be able to do that? chap, if you got Medusa virus and you knew that if you didn't remove your eyes then and there, if you didn't rip them out of your head, that you would turn into some weird monster, would you be able to do that? I don't know. Well, it doesn't really matter for me personally because I don't have eyes, but do you guys reckon you could just go pop your eyes out? But then you'd be blind right next to a monster, so I don't I don't know. I don't know about that. I hope this music isn't copyright. Good, including this stage, elimination of symptoms of the virus is not possible. Patients may die during this stage. Okay, so once you hit stage 2, that's it. You may just straight up die. More muscle mass is lost. Full paralysis of all areas below the neck and above the chin will occur about 35 seconds into this stage. Infected persons have been observed to angle their heads towards people and make quiet whimpering sounds. Okay. Ah, that's why it's called Medusa syndrome, because people are basically, they're like turning to stone in quotations because they're getting paralyzed. So to show that these may be calls for help, the citizens are advised to refrain from any contact. It's speculated that patients will hear loud voices in their head and before paralysis will start to scream loudly. Interesting. Strokes may happen and eyeballs will explode, allowing direct infection of the eyeball wounds. It is unknowing how this wound can infect, but scientists are actively conducting tests. Okay, so after the infection is fully set in, then yeah. So it's all the infection is in the eyeball. So when it explodes, it'll infect everybody around it. So.
As we speculate, there is no long-term solution or returning to normal life. Tell your children goodbye, and do whatever you need to do before the end. This is the final goodbye. I repeat, this is the final goodbye.
Analog horror face, there we go. It seems like it would be easy. It seems like it would be really easy to quarantine this though. Unless it must spread in another way, because if the people that get it just like collapse on the ground and then explode into goo, and then if you don't touch the goo, you're fine. It seems like it'd be easy just to have a compound of people you know are healthy and then just shoot anybody that comes close. You know, quarantine. Quarantine works. Hey, Luke. Yeah, we just got into Stone Cold. Probably the demon things. Look at this fella. Walking around with a backpack.
Discovery report on investigative procedures of the Medusa virus as of August 5th, 1998.
Hang on. Discovery report on the investigative procedures of Medusa virus as of August 5th, 1998. Recorded on August 5th, 1988. Whoops. Whoops.
Report submitted by Dr. Engler from the National Virology Lab of the United States of America. All findings and results shall be kept confidential, unless pardoned by the President of the United States.
Dr. Engler. Like an anglerfish? Bros.
(2:30 p.m. EST, June 13, 1998). Results from testing this morning has concluded that the Medusa virus's symptoms are different than we thought. The swelling of the eyeballs seems to be caused by the virus moving through the bloodstream towards the brain and face where it can replicate best. The violent travel of the blood seems to be extremely damaging to the cerebellum and spinal nerves. Further tests will be done to conclude how the virus is contracted.
MLP infection AUs on TikTok. I really don't want to know what that is. That sounds like a nightmare.
p.m. EST, June 17, 1998. No information has been found about the transmission of the virus. We believe it has something to do with eye contact activating the amygdala and causing a sense of threat, which somehow allows the virus to enter the body without being noticed by the immune system. A test will be completed later today among the frozen corpses to see why this is.
Obscure Japanese RPG Maker horror games. I play them anyway. It's not really a punishment if I play that.
p.m. EST, June 17, 1998. After careful recalculation and rerunning of trials, we have still not been able to find out anything. If knowledge is control, it seems we humans are not in control anymore. No cure has been discovered here, but we will have to cross-check that with the other teams.
Okay, so they're getting owned by this virus. This is walking through the woods. If he just ends up randomly getting attacked, this is gonna fucking suck. Something better happen here. Yeah, I can't even play Black Souls.
August 5th, 1998. While testing a cure that melts the virus proteins, we have stumbled across a new mutation of the virus. The strain seems to be much lighter than the previous one and has evolved to be transmitted through the air. But unlike other airborne diseases, the virus seems to be in complete control of the direction it floats in. The symptoms are not confirmed to be the same.
Dr. Engler, I've inhaled it. The seal wasn't gas-proof.
I've inhaled the airborne virus, so I'm going to come and talk to my boss instead of isolating myself immediately.
The White House. This is the emergency alert system. All normal programming has been discontinued during this emergency. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. Please stand by. Please stand by. This is a national emergency. New discoveries have been made on the Medusa virus. Scientists from the government's National Virology Lab have concluded that a new mutation of the virus has been discovered. Please pay close attention to the device you are viewing this from and lock all windows, doors, and vents. If you are outdoors, please keep this broadcast on while you swiftly make your way indoors.
We do not have much time. Ooh, excellent.
The new mutation allows the virus to transmit it through airborne methods in the form of a thick, orange gas. Do not inhale the gas and cover your face with a wet towel when you can. The government will provide advanced filtering to the air conditioning systems to keep a supply of air to all households.
Indoors immediately, covering your face and closing your eyes. Okay.
What does the new mutant do? The gas has a strong smell of pie or cake. Once the gas is smelt, it can cause a strong feeling of nostalgia and the loss of self-control, similar to being drunk. The infected will be attracted towards the smell and will follow the trail of smell unconsciously.
So you float towards the smell like you're smelling a pie on a windowsill? Let's go, bros! The first Looney Tunes analog horror. Let's
You will
go!
lose complete awareness, and victims may experience the replaying of memories involving the smell. Victims may appear to be walking around normally, but they are beyond saving. As the victim walks towards the origin of the scent, more and more of the virus enters the respiratory system, eventually producing the same effects of the first discovered strain of the Medusa virus. Paralysis and suffocation will occur. If you see someone walking around drunkenly through your window, humming or murmuring, alert authorities immediately and refrain from watching their death. Avoid exercise
that's
or
that
any activity
where that fellow
requiring
was
heavy
walking.
breathing and stay isolated indoors. May God help us all. I repeat, avoid exercise or any activity requiring heavy breathing and stay isolated indoors. May...
Ooh, that was loud. Corona having a cake smell, yeah. So that's what this fellow is. Either he is caked up or he's following someone and is trying to record it. We're gonna get jump scared, bros. No? We're gonna get jump scared? No? Never mind then.
When shooting at the sky, aim slightly above the target. Although shooting at infected flocks often only injures the bird, it is the best method currently accessible.
Oh, infected birds. Okay. That's why you can't just fuck off into the middle of the woods.
In the case of an attack by a large flock of birds, such as hawks or pigeons, the best weapon of choice is the shotgun. Aim for the center of the flock and load with birdshot.
Sounds censored for national safety.
The virus attacks the brain of the birds, causing them to caw or almost scream abnormally loudly, creating strange sound waves which can be deafening. Any human who hears the sound will likely go crazy or have the survival urge to go outside and silence the source of the sound. This, however, is dangerous due to the risk of inhalation of the Medusa virus in gas form. Here is a sample of the sound.
Sound has been censored for personal safety. Do not listen to this sound without being in restraints. Flight or flight is detrimental to logical thinking. Oh, are they like sirens then? They're taking a few notes from Greek mythology, aren't they? pretty neat.
We interrupt our programming at the request of the White House. This is the emergency alert system. All normal programming has been discontinued during this emergency. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. Please stand by. Please stand by.
Please stand by.
This is a national emergency. The virus is now known to infect birds of all types, from sparrows to eagles. Wear earplugs at all times and lock doors and windows with locks even you cannot break through even with a key. You must prevent your own escape.
Do not learn lockpicking.
You will lose control. The fight or flight response will be activated upon the brain registering the sound. Going outside will be uncontrollable and inevitable when this happens. And
My Microsoft Sam voice, that's mandatory for analog horror. Sorry. Yourself in before the angels take you. Screams be down to the sound of sirens in the sky. Hey, see, sirens, I called it. Losing control of your body and mind is immediate. Ignore the vultures cleaning meat of the bones of the dead. Twitter. White bellbird's call of 125 decibels.
One must really learn to live less. I miss the sky and grass outside.
So now you're blind, now you're deaf. What else is going to take?
The smells of the market. I'm missing my friend who looked into the wrong eye. What happened to human power? I can't see the sky anymore.
Oh, jeepers creepers. What the hell?
Can't see the sky anymore.
Birds, sky, birds, sky. Oh, what the hell? This is unexpected. It's not analog horror anymore, is it? Someone's at your door. Oh, it's a 3D animation. Don't worry about the subtitles. They're automatically generated. They're not. This is Google fucking up. Don't open the door, dude. Don't open the door, dude. Don't look out there. If you, like, look through glass... If you, like, look through glass or, like, through goggles, would you be protected, I wonder? I guess there's the gas. If you breathe the gas in, then you're just owned. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we've got eyes. You can't look at them. You can't smell it. So you can't breathe it in. And you can't hear it. So then what senses are left? You can't touch it and you can't taste it? The gas is inside the house! Tell me this person is good with...
Hello?
Graphics still uses stock VHS
so
green
why are you
screen.
calling so late? It's like what, 9 p.m.?
Well, it's 12, so this is a...
What's up?
Just check the news. Food shortages everywhere. First had eye contact, now we can't even grow crops or eat.
Hey, listen, I'll call you back later. I'm, up to something right now.
Alright,
I'm up to
check the
something.
article and send over. Also, don't call me back.
Why, something up?
Nah, just the government being strict on telephone usage. Anyway, stay safe.
Okay, I'll call you tomorrow. See ya.
Alright, bye.
Government being strict on telephone usage, but I'll call you just to see how you're doing, buddy. What's he working on? That video editing software? He's not typing anything. Oh, here we go. These are insane. What do you think? What's he doing? Channel comments mentions channel calculation. He's a YouTuber. This dude's a YouTuber. Thousands of tractors nationwide. Food shortage hits the UK. I don't know why you'd use like real articles in this. Medusa virus's effect on crops leaves local farmers and towns starving. What the hell? Black sludge. Okay, so the crops aren't growing because of Medusa. Ah, wait. Dr. Engler, he's dead. Dr. Engler's dead, bros. It's over. It's actually over. Cannibalism takes over the streets of Thailand. Maybe struggle to eat. Yikes. Oh. Someone is... That's a great home alarm. Sets off sirens. Whoa. Dale Gribble type of alarm? Uh-oh. Sorry, buddy. You're dead. Sorry, I had to point this out. He's standing in the sofa. He's actually in the sofa. You can see that, right? Just slowly close the door. You're dead anyway, dude. You're like looking... You gonna hug him? Ah! I do like loud music in my analog horror, but I didn't like that scene very much. It's cool to see them people branching out and trying new stuff like 3D animation, right? But it wasn't very scary. I don't think that the solution for making analog horror more interesting is to move back towards regular horror movies. I don't think that's the solution. Unless you're doing something, unless you're like taking notes from Portrait of God, which is 10 out of 10. But this is just like regular horror movie, and it's like that's not interesting. Analog horror is interesting because it's not that. So I don't think moving back towards that direction is the right way. Skill issues should have stoned his cold.
interrupt our programming at the request of the White House. This is the emergency. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test.
Not a test.
Please stand by. Please stand by. This is a national emergency. After 3 years of the Medusa virus and no significant scientific discovery will lead to any form of vaccination or cure, many of you at home may be beginning to lose hope.
I guess this is a much more interesting way of delivering this information instead of just regular analog horror, right? But still. Oops.
Rest assured that scientific breakthrough is on the way. The National Virology Lab brings you updates for those still alive to watch.
You just want to be skittering so bad? A little bit. A little bit, yeah.
New symptoms have been discovered. These include a sort of cold sensation around the neck and chest area, similar to as if cold hands were wrapped around you in kind of an insidious hug, or a chokehold rather. You may be familiar with the feeling when someone is standing right behind you. The warmth on your neck notifying you of their presence. Well, many patients have reported a similar feeling, only with an icy breath. When infected with this strain of the virus, nicknamed Med-V05, paralysis sets on much slower and patients seem to be, well, in a state of horror and panic, although unable to move.
This information to those who may remain alive. May God help us all.
This guy watching analog horror in his analog horror. That's actually true, yeah. What the hell? Analog horrorception.
As per recent discoveries conducted by drainage professionals, the Medusa virus has found its way into our ventilation and drainage. This means that the use of aircon or ventilation is strictly disallowed.
So what, you just choked to death now?
Do not turn on your aircon. If a thick orange gas seems to steam from any drainage, be sure to cover your mouth and tell your children goodbye. Lock yourself inside, and make sure to consistently clean drainage pipes with any cleaning fluid registered to limit the spread of contamination. If, however, your complex relies on ventilation to filter and bring in fresh air, I'm sorry. Clean your pipes and restrict AC usage. Stay Medusa free.
The only media I've noticed that deals with like viruses and stuff is horror media. And analog horror. Like there's nothing like... No major media has even bothered to try and deal with the coronavirus. You know, the thing that completely fucked our society for 2 years straight and still has massive impacts on children's growth. Everybody just wants to pretend it doesn't exist except for horror media. Like analog horror. That's why there's been the big boom in analog horror about viruses. And you know, it's you know, it really inspired Terminator as well, right? But yeah, it's funny. Oh, you know, that thing, we're just going to ignore that. Is it a person? Get jump scared. I'm going to turn this down. I want to get jump scared. Oh, her eyes had exploded. Okay. National emergency. During the past night, we received multiple sightings of so-called demon eyes. Enjoy your last days. That never came back up. The demon eyes thing. Video of the full Stone Cold series. Analog horror, found footage, cinematic horror. Enjoy. Keep in mind, this is not the final video of Stone Cold. Take a break from the series. There'll be more coming. Okay. That was okay. They still make us go to class. I did like the setup a bit more. The virus was more interesting. So, hey Jester, how you doing? First you've been 20 times. Want to stop and say keep it the good work. Thank you very much, Jester. Really appreciate it. What if the demon eyes were hyper realistic? I do appreciate the experimentation. I don't think it landed very well. Yeah, like I said, this whole segment with the dude in his house, I think that's the wrong direction to go. I don't think it's very scary. This is interesting, but this video needs to be way more interesting. What's happening here needs to be way more interesting, and you need to actually show it. Because if you're not... So the issue here is that this is an interesting way to present an analog horror video. I like it. But the video still needs to be interesting, and you still need to be showing it. Because it's so zoomed out and we can barely hear it, and we can barely see what's happening, it means that the whole scene is what we're supposed to be focusing on, but then nothing happens in the whole scene. Like, it turns out, oh, she's dead. She's got exploded eyes. Like, you find that, like, here. She's got exploded eyes. Okay, so she's dead the whole time. That doesn't really change anything. So then, you know, we go back to what the scenes do in analog horror, right? You know, it has to look cool, it has to be scary, or it has to develop the plot. This develops the plot a little bit, and it looks a little cool, but it's not scary. And the plot development isn't very interesting. It's like, oh, okay, you know, people are dying because it's getting into the vents. Okay, like we could have figured that out when we knew it was airborne. Like, obviously, from the way it was going, that wasn't going to be permanent. So, it's an elaborate shitpost to the final third of the video. That's a common issue with analog horror. I think it's just hard to do it right. If shitposts and serious videos are so hard to distinguish, because in almost every single one, there's been a segment where I've been like, is this a joke? This one didn't make me laugh, but I wasn't very interested almost the entire time. There were some parts that were kind of neat, like the birds. But for the most part, it was very, I'm sorry, Mythical Films. I didn't like it very much. The final setting being modern day, watching a retro-style emergency broadcast feels jarring. It does feel a little odd, doesn't it? Especially since they're distorting the voices, subtitles are needed. Yeah, I think I would add subtitles. The AI subtitles, the YouTube generated subtitles are not very good, especially in this last part. I wouldn't say it's mandatory, but it would definitely help. It's very slow. Lots of repeated information. You could condense this right down, I think. That's the issue. Analog horror is good when it can draw out tension for as long as possible. But it's very difficult to do that and still make it interesting. Like, Alex Kister is good at that, but he's just really good at making horror. So, like, this scene wasn't scary at all. Like, if you're doing a long, drawn-out scene like this, you want it to be fucking terrifying. And it's like, I don't. Like, it's not interesting. Like, what's actually happening? We just got, like, 15 different shots of the TV playing a warning that isn't really shocking at all. It gets in the vents. Okay, we could see that coming a mile away. And then it turns out she's dead. It's like, okay, that's not very interesting. Yeah, I think it's a big issue people have is that they they have a certain idea in their head of how a video is going to look, and then they realize, and then they reverse engineer from that. And the look is important, don't get me wrong, but it needs to be scary and stuff needs to happen. If stuff's not happening, then why should I watch it, basically, is the issue. So, yeah. Yeah, touch your ankle overheard it. Shit. At least this one, there were very few times where it felt like the dialogue was awkward. That's usually a big problem in analog horror. Like, you can imagine a scientist freaking out when they have no idea how a virus works. You can imagine that, and then him realizing minutes later, oh fuck, I've fucked up. And the emergency alert dialogue was a lot better than most. You could probably still nitpick it, but I think there's a certain range where it's acceptable, right? It doesn't stand out as jarring. As long as it doesn't stand out as jarring, I'm fine with it. There was just a lot of repetition, I think. But yeah, like the dialogue, like the actual writing seems like normal. It's all very reasonable. So nothing stood out as jarring, which is good, because that happens a lot. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not very interesting. It doesn't help that I find the virus settings less interesting than the supernatural ones. That like automatically docks a point in my mind, even when I'm trying to account for that. But yeah, I don't know. Look, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not really a fan of this, and I'm probably not gonna. I don't know. Maybe we'll come back when it gets updated again. Is there a new episode out? Actually, let's see. Okay, so this is one we watched. Horror short film, analog horror film, The End, Stone Cold Zero. Stone Cold Zero. Maybe we'll watch this. We'll watch this. Video was deleted from YouTube due to its content. This video is confidential and contains sensitive information. Do not copy, distribute, or view when unauthorized. Yes! Let's go! Windows Movie Maker. My name's Kyrie M. I live in Arkansas. I want to share with you a discovery. Brother was hiking along a railway. Came across an old VHS tape. Let's go. The safe for episode. We've got 2 layers of found footage here. We've got 2 layers. We found a tape, and then it was uploaded to YouTube, and then the YouTube video was taken down, and so then this was found again. So 2 layers. Report of the contents to the police, but you. Father died from the virus. I've chosen to publish a tape for public knowledge. Right now, it's September 2001, over 4 years since this tape was found. One of the final survivors during the 5th strain. Here's the tape. Digitized. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello. My name is Tom Adams, and, well, I just want to make this in case something happens to me. There's this virus. Well, it's hard to say. There's this company that
bioengineered virus, let's go.
Get away from. I usually hunt in these woods, and I came across a deer. I came across a deer with this horrible, it had an inflamed stomach, and, hold on, it had an inflamed stomach, and I think it's better if I talk to you and walk at the same time, or run, depending on the... Anyways, the virus, the company that I worked for, basically, they said they made the virus, and it was to be a weaponized program. It was to be a weaponized program. And so it was. But the problem is that it got out, and I was the first to inhale it. Me and another subject named Frank. Now my eyes feel very fucking weird, so this is gonna have to be my eyesight for a while.
Oh, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it.
While I look for Frank. The facility is right next to us.
Thank you for the memberships. Really appreciate it. If anybody got a membership, make sure to say thank you. Thank you very much, man.
Now, the facility is right off these train tracks. Let me get a closer look.
Hang on. So, the company just tells this dude that he inhaled this virus, this weaponized virus, and he inhales it, and he hasn't Medusa'd yet, even though it's almost certainly going to be the Medusa virus. I guess it's an earlier strain, right? And they let him leave, or did he escape? Hang on, did they let him leave? They wouldn't have.
Alright. Let me go to containment site B. Just down here. The reason I'm talking and walking is because I feel like Frank is out here. He's already succumbed to the virus. I feel like he's already succumbed to the virus. Maybe I'm next. I hope not. Frank is what we call Site B. Okay, let me get down here.
Frank is Site B, okay. Subnautica is advertising. I haven't played Subnautica, I don't know anything about it. Is it about viruses?
Shit. They couldn't have built this site on fucking flat ground. There it is. There it is. This is what I call containment site. Okay. Now it's leaking into the water as we speak. Turning the water into a weird, sickly color. Frank? Frank! Did you guys hear that? I think Frank's in there. Frank, it's gonna be okay.
This guy is crazy.
Frank? Frank, I just want to talk to you. Frank, it's me. Frank. Frank!
That's very quiet. Humanity suicide. Okay. Okay. Visually a bit more interesting. Who's editing this? Oh, whoops. Who's editing this? What's this? Who's this message from? What's like where if this is supposed to be a tape? Is this not supposed to be a tape? Is that the guy? No, it's not. Who is this? Is that Frank? Must be Frank. It's okay. It's okay. I think because it's still tied to the old story, and I think the old story is just kind of boring. So I don't know. Let's get a few different ones, hey. Mark Wazowski. It's okay. Yeah, he's got basically the same issues as before. It is interesting hearing about like where the virus came from. So something did happen. Like, we got lore, things happening. Wasn't very scary. It just felt a bit random. The spooks at the end. Like, getting jumped by Frank, that's good. Frank! But then, like... It's like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what is this? I'm cutting this part is fine, because this will probably make sense later, right? But it feels like there's just random stuff on screen that looks cool without making sense, And then this, I don't know, I don't get this. I don't know. It's okay. Yeah, I didn't like this one very much, unfortunately. Sorry, Mythical Films. It's alright. There's definitely some things that can be improved on, but the concept have lots of potential. I think you could, yeah. I would personally focus on the mythical element that showed up in... So, at the start, remember how it was talking about like the sirens and Medusa, and it's got the 5 different senses. I would start focusing on that stuff. Start building up esoteric patterns. Even if it's not esoteric, start building up esoteric patterns. It makes things more interesting, so... My break-in scene got my jump scare. I think it's because I tend to be jumpy. Yeah, like it is a good, like it's jump scare. I don't like jump scares very much. I think you've got to do it carefully. And I felt like it was just trying to be too much like a regular horror movie, and that's not analog horror's strength. If you like this video, please consider becoming a patron. Thank you all very much to the patrons who have already supported. Their names are on screen now. If you become a patron, you get access to video previews, scripts, your name in the credits, and seeing main channel videos a week earlier than public.